Welcome to Lola's Frugal Life Podcast. If you're on a mission to be more frugal with both your time and money, you're in the right place. In this podcast, we talk about topics that help enhance living a frugal lifestyle. The goal is to save time and money where we can so that we can use the rest on what matters most to us. We talk a lot about both time and money management so that we can waste as little as possible on both. We do this while also embracing a progress over perfection mindset. If that sounds good to you, then please stick around for the latest episode right after a few quick words from our sponsor. Hi everyone, welcome back to my weekly meal plan podcast. If you're new here, this is an episode that I do each week pretty quickly just to share with you what my family will be doing for our meal plan for the upcoming week. There is a blog post that goes along with this on my website at lolasfrugallife.com that includes the full meal plan as well as any links to recipes that I mention in the episode that are used in that meal plan. So each week I try to, I kind of already have my meal plan done in advance for the most part before the week even happens. And that's because I use a meal rotation. I just want to start mentioning that more because I know a lot of people have mentioned that that's been really helpful to them. So for example, I do hamburgers every other Monday. On the alternate Mondays in between those, I do steak on one of them. I do hot dogs on the other. Tuesday, we rotate Mexican meals. So pretty much Monday through Thursday, I have a rotation of meals or meal types that I use. And then Friday, Saturday, Sunday, I just kind of fill in with some of our favorites that we use. And because I do it that way, the meal plans kind of already come together in advance because even on the meals that I rotate, not on a specific basis, I will still always try to put on a future meal plan. For example, say if I make baked ziti, I'll think, when do I want to have this again? A month from now, 2 months from now, 3 months from now, next fall, whenever my meal plan app goes way out in the future. So I can literally put something on the meal plan now for September. Like say, for example, if I just cooked a meal and I'm like, well, this is more like a fall winter meal. I know I won't be cooking this in the summer, but this is something I really like to make and it's really simple. So I don't want to forget that this is part of the meals that I make. So I will go in my recipe app into September and I'll put that meal in the app. So the meal plans largely build themselves and I usually only have to fill in a couple of days of gaps. So I just want to make sure I share that a little bit more frequently. I'm not going to say it every episode because I know everybody doesn't want to keep hearing that over and over again, but just letting you know, meal planning does not have to be complicated and you can rotate meals and it makes life so much easier if you're struggling with meal planning. And as it relates to that, I do want to share, I got a review. It seems like all the reviews I've gotten lately have been related to the meal plans, which I'm really happy about because sometimes I think, do people really just want to hear me say what my meal plan is for the week? But apparently a lot of you find it inspiring and it gives you some ideas for your meal plan. So I'm really happy about that. So I just got a new review on Apple Podcasts. It's a 5-star rating. The heading says, great ideas. It's by Jackie Pearl. And she said, thank you. I look forward to hearing the weekly meal planning ideas. I like how you have certain days of the week or times of the month where you repeat various types of meals. It seems to make planning easier without food boredom. So thank you so much for that review. You have no idea how much it means to me to get reviews on Apple Podcasts. It's really difficult to get reviews and those really do help grow the podcast. And I'm trying really hard to grow this podcast organically because I have no budget for advertising and I just am trying really hard and that's really, really helpful. So thank you so much for leaving that review. And I thought it would be good to kind of read that at the beginning of this episode since it's specifically related to meal planning. So anyway, I will get on with this week's meal plan. So this week's meal plan starts on Saturday, May 20th. So for Saturday, I'm going to be making Greek chicken gyros with tzatziki. This is from recipe.tineats.com. I don't know. I feel like I'm saying that wrong, but anyway, it's recipe.tineats.com. And this came out so good. You marinate the chicken thighs in like a yogurt and other seasonings marinade, and then you grill them and you make gyros with them. And we really liked this. We did this a few times last summer. So I am going to be doing that again. And I'm just kind of doing that as the main meal. I I'm not planning on making a side at the moment. It might go good with like some corn on the cob or something, but it's kind of early in the season for that. So I'm thinking I'm just going to do just the gyros, and that will be our meal for that day. Sunday, I am doing chicken sausage, peppers, and potatoes. That's from allrecipes.com. This I make in the electric roaster oven that I have. So it's really great because it doesn't heat up the house. But I just put in the electric roaster oven some cut up sausage, some bone-in chicken thighs, peppers, onions, and then some olive oil and some salt and pepper, and just toss it around, and it cooks up. It says an hour and 10 minutes on here on the recipe. I feel like I go a little bit longer than that because I really like for the sausage and the chicken to be really browned, but it doesn't, it just kind of cooks. I like to do it on a weekend so I can just kind of keep an eye on it and just let it cook until it's done. But it's a really simple one pot or one roaster pan meal. So that's for Sunday. For Monday, it's going to be our hamburger night. I am cooking on the grill now. The hamburgers, I do them on the stovetop in the winter and on the grill in the summer. I finally just started using the grill the last time I made them, so we'll be doing hamburgers. I also do oven fresh seasoned potato wedges from allrecipes.com. That's basically just potatoes that you cut into wedges and toss them in a bag with some it's like Parmesan cheese, olive oil, and some seasonings. In the summer, I still have it on my meal plan to make those, but if it's a real hot day and I don't want to put the oven on, I will just slice up some potatoes and season them and throw them in the air fryer and do it that way. And then I always do a can of pork and beans with that meal also. For Tuesday, we always do a Mexican theme meal. This week we're doing Chipotle night, so I just take some chicken breast, cut it up into small bite-sized pieces, season it with some olive oil, seasoned salt and chili powder, and I broil it to get it a little bit crispy. And then I'll cook like brown rice. I put out some black beans, avocado, salsa, shredded cheese, all that kind of stuff, and we can make Chipotle style bowls for dinner. For Wednesday, it's usually our seafood night, so I'm doing baked salmon. This is one of my favorites that I do pretty frequently. On the seafood night, I just take some salmon fillets, I put them in a baking dish, I brush them with olive oil and season them with McCormick Smokehouse maple seasoning, and I bake them in the oven at 450 degrees for about 12 minutes, and they come out perfect. And then I'm just going to be doing some buttered egg noodles and some frozen vegetables on the side, whatever vegetables I happen to have on hand. I always keep some of those steam fresh type vegetables in the freezer. Whenever they go on sale, I grab a few and put them in the microwave real quick and cook that up as a side. For Thursday, I usually do soup, sometimes with grilled cheese, or breakfast for dinner on Thursdays because I go grocery shopping, so I try and keep the meal prep a little bit quicker. So this week I am doing easy clam chowder. That's from damndelicious.net, and I really like this recipe. The clam chowder does come together pretty quickly, and it's really filling. It makes a really good meal if you like that kind of food. This is a white clam chowder, like a New England style clam chowder that this recipe is for. And then the last meal for this week's meal plan is for Friday, May 26th, and I'm going to be doing grilled chicken on the grill. I just take chicken breast, I slice it semi-thin, and I'll marinate it in some type of, sometimes I'll use like the McCormick chicken, or sometimes I'll buy a seasoning packet, just marinate it with some olive oil, sometimes white vinegar, and the seasoning packet, and then I'll just throw it on the grill. It comes together super quickly. And then as a side, I'm going to be doing baked feta pasta, which is from feelgoodfoodie.net. This is really super easy pasta dish to make. You basically make pasta and you put it together with cherry tomatoes. I forget exactly how you make this, if you put it all in the oven together. But anyhow, I can't read the whole recipe right now, but basically you wind up baking pasta with cherry tomatoes and feta cheese and olive oil and some seasonings, and I really like how that comes out. So we'll be doing that as a side with the grilled chicken. So that's it for this week's meal plan. As I mentioned, you can find all of this on my website at lolasfrugallife.com. If you are also loving the meal plans, I would really appreciate one of those ratings on Apple iTunes. Like I said, that really does help grow the podcast. So that's it for this week's meal plan, and I will see you back here next week. So thank you for checking in for this podcast episode. And don't forget, you can always email me with any questions or suggestions at lolasfrugallife@gmail.com. You can follow me on Instagram and Facebook at Lola's Frugal Life. And you can find a blog post for most of my episodes and definitely all of my meal plan episodes at lolasfrugallife.com. You can also join our private listeners group at facebook.com/groups/lolasfrugallife. And if you enjoy the show, please make sure to subscribe on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, YouTube, or wherever you listen from. And I would love it if you would screenshot the show and tag me on Instagram so I could see you're listening. Also, if you can please take a couple of seconds to rate and review the podcast. Those ratings and reviews are what help the show come up better in search results so that other people can find this podcast. So that will really help me in growing my audience. So that's it for today. Thank you so much for listening, and I hope you have an awesome day.